Hey guys, it has been a seriously long time since I've done this type of video, but I have a book review for you. Yes, I realize it's been months since I've done a book review, but honestly, I wasn't reading a lot during all the holidays and everything. I had started a book and it took me a long time to get through just with the busyness, and then it was like a Christmas story, so I was like, I don't want to talk about that now, wait after Christmas and stuff, and so more recently I started reading again, and I finished the book that I'm going to talk to you about right now, and I'm currently reading one, so I will have that one coming up eventually too. So the book though that I want to talk to you about today it's Stephen King, writing it as Richard Bachman, and the name of the book is Blaze. So if you don't know, I am definitely a suspense, thriller, murder mystery. Those are like my kind of books that I like to read. So that's typically what I read. And so this was one that I had picked up when my husband took me last year for a special surprise birthday weekend for my 40th birthday. This was one that I picked up while we were on that trip. And so, yeah, I still have a few more from that time. Actually, the one I'm reading now is also from that same trip. It's the gift that keeps on giving. So that's really fun. So a little bit about this book. I'll go ahead and read you the little blurb off the back, as I always do. It says, once upon a time, a fellow named Richard Bachman wrote Blaze on an Olivetti typewriter, then turned the machine over to Stephen King, who used it to write Carrie. Bachman died in 1985, cancer of the pseudonym, but this last gripping Bachman novel resurfaced after being hidden away for decades, an unforgettable crime story tinged with sadness and suspense. So that's just kind of telling you, Richard Bachman was like an alias that Stephen King was using at the time. Whatever, so when he was writing this. So this is what the story is about. Clayton Blaisdell Jr. was always a small-time delinquent, none too bright either, thanks to the beatings he got as a kid. Then Blaze met George Rackley, a seasoned pro with 100 cons and one big idea. The kidnapping should go off without a hitch, with George as the brains behind their dangerous scheme. But there's only one problem. By the time the deal goes down, Blaze's partner in crime is dead. Or is he? This is a total, mind kind of mess with you book, which I like. It's funny, this book, it's kind of hard for me to explain. There's parts about it, you want to really not like the main character, but at the same time, you feel sorry for him, and there's something that, tugs at you, that you have this, just sadness for him, but you also know you should be, not liking him. So it's a very strange, I don't know, it's just really weird. But basically, this Clayton Blaisdell Jr., when he is a child, his dad is abusive and beats him and causes him to have an injury that makes him slow. And it's really sad because beforehand it was like he was a bright kid who read a lot and did really well, and then this completely changed him. And in doing so, it made the rest of his life very difficult. He got pushed around from place to place and got into trouble, and he was easily manipulated by other people. And then coming into adulthood, and all through adulthood, really, but then he finally finds this one person who, in his eyes, is someone who's taking care of him and helping him, but you can see that this person is actually just taking advantage of him. And so it's very sad in that way, because you see this person who is so hard throughout his life trying to find acceptance and someone to kind of take him under their wing, and people continuously use him and just manipulate him. And so that very much tugs at you, because it's just such an awful, because people do this in real life. So I guess that's what makes it, the realness of it, knowing that these kind of things happen to people, it just makes it kind of hard to, deal with. But in saying that, he also does things that he knows aren't right also. But it's he doesn't have the strength on his own to not do them. So when someone is, encouraging him to do these things, that's what he does, because he's trusting this person, kind of. Even though he might know that it's not right, he feels like if they're having him do it, then he should do it, kind of thing, And, so, I don't want to give too much of the story away without... Okay. If you like suspense thriller type books, I think you would really like this book because it does keep you guessing throughout. You do learn, I guess this wouldn't be ruining the book for you because it tells you fairly early on that George Rackley, that he ends up, you know, kind of being taken under this guy's wing or whatever, and is his partner in crime. This guy is a con artist, and he uses Clayton to, you know, do different cons and stuff like that. And they live together in like this little shack. And basically George dies. They allude to that very early on. But Clayton still hears him. And I'm trying to think, I should know because I read this a million times. Clayton's name, though, he's called Blaze. Duh, that's why the name of the book is Blaze. Wow. Blaze is what he's called. He earned that nickname as a young kid, and so Blaze is what they call him. And so he still hears George. It's like George is still there, telling him what to do, keeping him on track with things. However, still in the same way that George always was to him, very demeaning in the way he speaks to him, and you know, just calling him names and treating him terribly. That's even once George is physically actually gone, that's still how Blaze hears him or thinks he sees him, you know, kind of thing. So he's telling him, you know, what to do and whatever, and encouraging him to go on with this big con that they had planned before he died. So, you know, Blaze is like asking George's advice and how can I do these things and blah, blah, and he's answering him. But then when he says things in contrary to what George would have wanted, it's like George leaves him, and then he's begging him to come back, like, no, don't leave. Like, and it's very sad. It's like this person clinging to the one person in the world that they had that was taking care of them, even though he really wasn't. And so basically he heads into this huge con that they had planned together and tries to execute it. And in his mind, he's doing a really good job and making sure he's covering his tracks and things like that. But being that he is slow and, you know, just can't really think through things that well, there are missteps, and you're kind of watching things unfold and crumble as he thinks he's doing really well. You're watching how poorly he actually is doing. And it's a very unique story. Again, very vivid detail. I like that in the book. That he's describing kind of like his, you know, physical, like his hygiene and stuff like that. And you can like kind of picture this person who it's like, there's no one there to tell him better. And it's a very, very interestingly written book. I actually really, really appreciate Stephen King as a master storyteller anyway, if you ever read any of his books. So I'm not surprised by that. I am always surprised by the different twists and turns, though, that he puts into a story. Like, it's never dull. And so I obviously won't tell you what the ending is, but it's just it definitely leaves you, this book, whole entire book leaves you with a feeling sad but angry. Like, no, I shouldn't feel sad for him because he's doing this, but it's not his fault. But, you know, it's kind of like takes you back and forth, and I don't know, it just makes you think of in real life the people who, you know, sometimes do things that they wouldn't do, you know, without the encouragement of somebody who's, you know, kind of, well, who's encouraging them to do these things that are wrong. And that even if deep inside they know it's not right, they want so much to like please this person or have someone who, you know, is like their person kind of thing, that they'll do these things even though they know they're wrong. And so it's like, it's a very real life scenario that some people live, you know, deal with. And you see that in life sometimes, and in actual crime, you know, true life crime things where you see where people use someone that they know they can get them to trust them, and once they do, they can get them to do whatever they want for them. And so it's that type of a story that just it's just you feel it. You feel what this what he's trying to get you to feel through, you know, about these characters. So I think it's a very well written book. I think that if you like those types of, you know, stories, those types of books, you are going to really like this. So Stephen King, writing as Richard Bachman, and the book is named Blaze. So if anyone has read this, let me know what you think of it. Or if you do read it, please let me know what you think of it. You know, just if you feel the same type things that I'm explaining. And but I thought it was a really, really good book. I've not been disappointed by many books that I've read. I will leave my playlist here of my book reviews if that's something that you're interested in. And I love reading. I love it takes you to a different place. It's just a whole separate, you know, like I get so immersed in a book that it's like another life. Like I will be thinking about stuff about the book and whatever. Like it's somehow like I'm actually connected to it. That's what I love about reading. I think it's so cool. So when people are like, don't like to read, I'm like, how do you not like to read? But yeah, so let me know what you guys think of this book review. If you enjoy book reviews, I love reading and I love to share about the books that I read because I don't want to waste my time reading something that several other people think is no good. And so I would kind of like to help do the same for you if you are a reader and are looking for things that you think you would enjoy. Hopefully I can help you to know some things to read or some that you might want to avoid. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you very soon. Bye.